Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hypnosis Hero, everyone's favorite show where we talk to literally the world's greatest hypnotists. We have a little fun. We interview them. We talk with them. We play some fun games. We give away some stuff. Oh, shoot. I don't have my book right in front of me. It's somewhere. I'll show it later. Go grab my book. Your Life Sucks. Don't forget to grab that. What else do? We play Friend or Frenemy, everyone's favorite game. And then, of course, our guest hypnotist is going to lead us in some hypnosis. Now, I'm really excited we could have tonight's guest on because I've known her for a long time. I mean, wow, over 5-6 years, something like that. And she's a really fantastic hypnotist. So, and she does quite a few things too. She's also says that she's well, I'll read her bio later. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. As you might be able to tell, I'm a little discombobulated, and my setting is a little different because I'm on the road right now for about 2 weeks doing some hypnosis shows down in Arizona, and the weather, for all my friends up there in Washington, and in Saskatoon, sorry guys, it's been so sunny and beautiful, and also sorry to our guest who's up in the great north. So let us know where you're watching from. We always like to know that. And I am going to bring on everyone's favorite sidekick. You know him. That's right, B-Dog, Brian Bay. How you doing today, sir?
Oh, it's Monday, man.
It is. It's always Monday for the show. Damn it.
Yeah. No, never better, man.
Good.
It's, we had some current events last week that were fun. I've been debating about under the guise of sharing an experience that I went to, telling a joke that I think my late father would absolutely have cried over laughing. But
now, is this the one you sent me? The meme you sent me?
Does it involve a bookstore?
Oh, no, I didn't see that one.
All right. Well, we might come back to that. I'll pop it over to you on a different message. But yeah, man, I'm excited. We've got a lot of good things. Look like they're turning around, and I'm looking forward. Fingers crossed. You heard it here, folks. Or you heard it here first. Gas will be under $3 a gallon before summer.
It's not the most important thing in the world, Brian. Hate to break it to you, buddy. There's a lot of other things that are more important than the price of gas or the price of eggs. But we digress. All right. So, been out for any motorcycle rides lately?
Yes, I was out yesterday. Went and met up with a friend of mine that turned into 3 riders, that turned into 4 of us. And then we went down to the Ram in Rushton, right along the Tacoma waterfront. And I'm like, we had a little bit of, I'm going to say warm temperatures. I use that loosely. It was probably hovering right around 50 degrees. So you quilted liner on the riding jacket and a hoodie, and you layer up. But, it was dry. That was the most important thing.
Indeed. Hey, we've got someone new on the show. We've got Jordan from Seattle, Washington.
Jordan was actually one of our actors in the Nile Shrines Haunted House this year. So
sweet.
He was kind of, I was talking to him earlier today, and I'm like, yeah, I'll throw you the link. So he's joining us. Younger guy, motivated kid, hard charger. So hoping that this is something that'll be enjoyable to him. So
nice.
Got to give a shout out. I would be remiss if I didn't. Yes,
nice to meet you, Jordan. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. If you're watching, let us know where you're watching from. It's always interesting to find out. And we get Great Britain. We get, of course, we get Canada, and where else do we get? All over the place.
Arizona. Carol reached out to me, and yes. She was like, "Yeah, I'm on my way to go see Jim's live show." And I was like,
"Yeah,
he should have just bought an airline ticket for me under the premise of me being a roadie." And but we'll do that next time.
That was a funny show, dude. I tell you what. Somebody before we got started, somebody said, hey, can I said something like, how long is this going to be? And I go, do you have to use the bathroom? And they're like, yeah. And I go, okay, why don't you go ahead and go now? And I go, anybody else have to go? Dude, seriously, 6 people left the stage. And I'm going, oh, great. So
Tap dance and
yeah. So I'm trying to kill Tim. And I've got these long story jokes from back when I was a comic, but for the life of me, I couldn't remember any of the appropriate ones because I knew one was very inappropriate in today's mores, so I couldn't use it. Although now I probably could because the whole world's changing.
Was this supposed to be a family-friendly show, or
it was a family-friendly show? Yeah, kids were flocking around there. But anyway, it was still a great show. Had a lot of fun. It was great to see Carol, and of course Victoria Gallagher came up on stage and did some stuff too.
Oh, wonderful!
Her first time doing stage hypnosis. So
yeah,
that's great.
That's awesome.
All right. Everyone's on there. I know that everyone is. Now, we got a bunch of people watching, and nobody's telling us they're watching. Where are you watching from? You're killing us here. Also, do all those things. And I can't say what you should do when you're watching a podcast because then the algorithm goes, oh, they're saying those things. But you know what you got to do. If you kind of like something, and if you want to tell your friends about it, you do those things.
Yeah.
Right. I just found out we shouldn't even actually use the word LINK because sometimes that diminishes the thing. But anyway, we digress. Let's get to our tech whiz, the captain, Mr. Shawn Kostiuk. Hello, sir.
Good evening, everybody.
I love the red poppy. Veterans Day here in the U.S.
Yep.
Happy Veterans
Day in Canada, and I know they do Remembrance Day across the pond as well. So
very nice.
It's a special day today.
Yeah, in the 11th hour of the 11th day. That was when World War I ended. So if you ever get a chance and you want to hear something really cool, go on YouTube and look for the end of World War I. And you'll hear the guns firing until 11 o'clock.
Oh.
And then it's eerily silent.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But,
and of course, we have a veteran right here on the show. Thank you, Brian, for your service. Everybody tell Brian thank you.
Thank you to everybody on behalf of the entire armed forces for paying the bill every April and sometimes in October if you filed an extension on your taxes.
Exactly. Hey, Scott's watching from Texas. We got Cindy in from Ohio. Thanks for watching, guys. What are you going to say, B-Dog?
So I've actually got a quick tech tip for everybody. As of last week, the internet has not failed to disappoint. So Facebook's algorithm is slightly broken. So if you do post a comment, a meme, something that you find absolutely hilarious, give yourself pause before you do it, because if you post something and you get that little alert thing that says, do I want to post this anyway or delete it? And you select delete it, you're probably going to get a 30-day ban anyway. Ask me how I know. So if you don't see me posting on any of the groups and interacting, I'm in timeout till December 7th.
To be fair, Brian, it was quite offensive while funny. It was.
And when you go and request a review to kind of plead your case and be like, hey, this is completely satirical and everything like that, they go, oh, whoops, we're having technical difficulties. And but I can say that it is not evenly enforced across the board.
But there are some platforms that are more strict than others.
Oh, yes.
True. And that's another point.
I.e. the one that didn't fire up, so Jim will invite you from my phone to your phone right away. If you've got the bandwidth.
You're over on TT?
Yeah.
Excellent. And speaking of other platforms, yeah, so Scott says that, what's he say? Oh, yeah, being that YouTube added features to pop the like and subscribe when you say, I shouldn't even use, I'm going to say their words. I'm not worried about YouTube. We're going to a few different channels, and some of them are a little more sensitive to those kind of things. Some of them don't want you leading people away from them. They don't like it. Let me see. Did we catch up with everybody? Yes, thank you to all veterans. Shawn, you're here, and I just saw you posted something. So was your grandfather there on there at Normandy?
This is 1946. This is after he was decommissioned, and that's their wedding photo. Um, People often mistake me for a multitude of nationalities, and I'm going to guess they're why. Because I can fit in pretty much anywhere in the world.
I was going to say because you are, but
Exactly. These are my maternal grandparents. My paternal grandparents are both Ukrainian. Grandpa, though, his story, his family was one of the last off the Underground Railroad. Eventually,
Wow.
they settled in Detroit, hopped the border, and settled in what's now Thunder Bay, Ontario. And then they came west. He met my grandmother while stationed overseas. He joined up, not ever expecting to be anywhere close to the front. He was part of the contingent that was cutting timber and making things ready for rebuilding bridges so that the troops could cross. After the bridges had been destroyed, and was reassigned. He was part of the beachhead under General Montgomery when the English contingent landed. Some of the Canadians went with them. So yeah, he was never talked about it ever.
Mm.
Not to any of the grandkids. So he mentioned a few things to my dad before before Dad started dating my mom, but and those stories. We can't repeat those on air about certain countries, and anyway, we'll leave that alone.
And how friendly
Uh,
they are.
well, and we talk about algorithms being stern. This guy, you do not ever want to cross him.
Oh yeah.
And you can't really tell from that picture. Grandpa's about 5'8",
Mm.
Granny's 4'11".
Oh, how
Uh,
cute.
yeah, and Scottish red hair, and the only fireball that would ever tell Robbie to get back in his place. So you didn't consequently ever reach across the table, or you'd wind up with like a fork in your hand. Very prim, very proper, fully Scottish.
so
Wow.
kind of a quick question, Shawn.
Yeah.
What would you give to hear some of his stories and learn about his experiences and find out, good things that he did, lessons learned, things like that?
Years of my life.
So here's kind of my message to veterans out there that are listening right now or will see this in the future. If you've got some type of life experience or you participated in any type of like historical act, like you have a story, you are a part of history, and that deserves telling. So I would encourage people, figure out a way to share, get something out. You don't have to go into all the gory details, but you have wisdom to pass on to the next generation.
100%. That was one of the reasons I became a history teacher. Of course, I've never taught history in my 27 years of education. That IT thing kind of hijacked everything. So anyway,
Yeah.
there's still time.
Well, I can't imagine what it must have been like there at Normandy, but thank you all the veterans for your service. And if you're a veteran, let us know. Let us know. Tell us in the comments there. Tell us later too. We're really we're appreciative of that. We really are.
One thing I did hear was
Go ahead.
the veterans that watched Saving Private Ryan, the World War II veterans that watched Saving Private Ryan. They were pretty impressed. They said that's almost like being there. So you can imagine what that was times 10, at least.
And I think probably I'm going to speculate here 100% that it probably meant more to them that everything that they went through was accurately portrayed, rather than, oh my God, I have to relive some of the most traumatic and triumphant parts of their life.
Yeah.
And I think that anybody who's going to get in the film industry or documentary owes that level of attention to detail.
100%.
Very cool. Very cool. Shawn, do you have a tech tip for us this week?
You know what? My tech tip is, when your car doesn't tell you to stop for coffee, you should probably set a timer so that you do make sure you stop every so often. Take a break. You recall the last tech tip I had was the car kept telling us to stop and have coffee. I spent 7 hours in the car today, so 3.5 hours from Yorkton to Saskatoon, 3.5 hours back, and probably half an hour in Saskatoon driving around, getting gas and all of that to get back on the highway. So make sure you take care of yourself. The tech is one thing, but you're the most advanced tech ever. Proper maintenance is important.
Sure is. We all know about that highway hypnosis, right?
That's right, because I didn't see that deer that was standing on the side of the road looking both ways to see if it was time to cross. Fortuitously, it decided not to.
Well, I mean, the deer has that natural camouflage to kind of keep it alive.
Well, that's true. It was a little difficult to hear, so and see.
Shawn, your school fleet vehicle or your district fleet vehicle is a poor hunter.
Hey, Shawn, I'm over here on. Sorry, I'm distracted. I'm over here on the TikTok. Can you? Oh, there it is. I've just accepted the TikTok. Yeah, go live. Nice. I mean the TT. Anyway, guys, I'm so excited. Let's bring on our guest on. Been sitting there patiently waiting. It's about where she's at. It's probably like 3 a.m. or something like that with the time difference thing. This I got to tell you too. Coming to Arizona is like so stupid because like half of my devices know that I'm in Mountain Time now, and half of them don't. So scheduling things has been a nightmare. Trying to figure out what time my appointments really are. So it's been crazy. Thank goodness that our guest today said, "Hey, what's going on with the time there?" Because that would have been bad. And okay, there we go. Sorry, there's all kinds of weird things going on with my devices. So hey, if you're on the TT, go over and follow Shawn, SK Hypnosis, SK Hypnosis. So it's an @ SK Hypnosis. I finally got my streaming thing worked out, so I'll be doing that too. Maybe we'll take turns doing that. But and tonight, I think our guest is actually on the TT also. So we'll also get her on as well. And yeah, I give up. This. Oh, there it is. There. I don't even know where it's. Now Facebook's being a jerk, so I can't even give you. I can't even give you our guest bio because Facebook's being a jerk and everything. So we're just going to move forward so people don't get bored and go watch, something else. All right. So coming up next, our next guest, as I said, I met her first time about 6 years ago at a Hypnothoughts right before the pandemic. So, and I don't even know if I've seen her since then. I'm trying to think. I don't know if we've been at a conference together since then. But we'll find. Maybe she knows. Maybe she remembers. So she's really fabulous. She's a friend of Jesus. She's also a witch, which is kind of we're going to find out about this because that seems like contradictory type information. And she's also a hypnotist and a swell woman. Everyone, give it up for Miss Marian Spurgeon.
Hey,
Marian.
Jim. I just want to tease you a little bit because you've seen me at almost every single Hypnothoughts. But that's okay.
Yeah.
No. Light implication that you should know her bio by now.
No, you're just you remember meeting me one time, but it's been many times. But that's okay. I know I have kind of okay, this is what it is. Sometimes when I'm in a crowd and I'm feeling overwhelmed, I will kind of just kind of put up a big boundary around myself. That can kind of feel like I'm invisible. So I wouldn't blame you if you didn't notice me there, because I maybe not have been trying to be noticed, but
well, we certainly didn't hang out, so, and I would remember that. She probably snubbed me, everybody. She's hanging out with her cool friends.
Wait, hold on.
Snub you.
You're talking about a projected hypnotic cloak of invisibility. I don't see that as a fault. I see that as a future and a business opportunity that's here.
I just kind of go undercover. Yeah, but anyway, hi. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on the show.
Marian, hold on. Were you at this last year's
Not this last year. No, I did skip out this last year.
I knew it.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. That's all I meant.
Okay. But like the 5 years before that, basically, like I went, no, but then there was the pandemic. That was weird.
Right. So I try to have
like, I think there was maybe 1 year that I did like a virtual like call in. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I've been like connected.
Oh yeah, I did that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awful. Maybe not for you. Good for you.
It's also, another cool thing to celebrate today besides it being Veterans Day, which is important, and I have a story about that. But
Good.
also it's 11/11, which is kind of cool. Yeah.
That's like some kind of numerology type of a thing. Can you explain that to us?
I think I don't know. I mean, who can really say? But I think that when people see it, it's kind of like at least an internet meme that it means good luck or that angels are watching you or something like that. Like I don't think that there's ever a time that angels are not watching us, but I do think that it can be a nice reminder.
You be careful, Brian, later on. Right? Angels are watching.
With Jim the devil was an angel technically. So and hold on. So in the interest of hey, we're teasing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. There was Brian got timed out from Facebook, but I thought you were saying that no, I got permanently banned from
Tinder. That was
from
so when I type into the chat, it shows up that I'm somebody else. I don't know why it's not showing me.
Oh, it shows me, yeah.
I posted in there because you said that you got banned from Facebook, but I just wanted to show my support by saying that I got permanently banned.
Okay. Oh, yeah. No, I got a 30-day timeout. I can still.
No, they told me that I'm not welcome back on Tinder ever.
Oh man,
really? What do you have to do to get now? Can you tell us what you have to do to get kicked off of Tinder?
I don't know. Like they wouldn't tell me. They honestly wouldn't tell me what I did. They wouldn't.
So you mean to tell me that there was no paint damage and somebody having to buy new tires?
I just I don't know why. I think, okay, so this is a theory. This is a working theory that I have, but I don't know because they wouldn't tell me. But like, there was a time when I was like naive enough to put that I'm a hypnotist in my bio. And all these people would like message me and like actually want to inquire about work, not like dating. And so I think what they might have thought was that I was trolling for business when I wasn't. But like, if I'm just kind of replying to people asking me about what I do, and sending them to my website, they could perceive that as trolling. But like, yeah, that was my experience. And now I just never say anything about it because my experience is that there are a lot of people out there that are just kind of looking for a therapist,
That's marketing. It's going to make you millions.
No.
Right.
No, they want a free therapist. They just want something for nothing. And that's like, ugh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to buy me dinner first if you want some hypnosis.
No, and not even then. You know what? This is like my new thing is that like I'm not going to help somebody become an adult so that I can date an adult. Right?
You've done your time.
I've done my time. So, I wanted to talk about because it's Veterans Day and like my last smoking cessation client is a veteran, and so he served in the Vietnam War, and it was cool to talk to him about that for a number of reasons. And one was that I do believe that it was tied into his smoking cessation process, like the smoking was highly associated with his military service, just kind of like when he started, that was what was going on for him. And then also part of it was just kind of like the stress in his nervous system. It was like a way of self-regulating, right? And so when we were able to kind of go into that and release some of that tension and some of that trauma, we were able to kind of like unlink the smoking habit from the war, right? And I also I put something in that session that he could conceive of what we did as healing from both, right? Like you can take that opportunity
Excellent.
to like heal from both.
Well done. What a good feeling. I love it when, smokers are not my favorite to work with because sometimes they're babies, oh, what if I get a craving? But it's so rewarding because, you're literally helping to save a life right there, and not just save their life because we're all going to die, but
Yeah,
that last 10 years or 20 years of a crappy life, of a really, really, really crappy life where you're struggling to breathe or you got whatever, this and that. So
no, it can be like immediately. It can be immediately bad. I think even just starting is bad. But no, yeah. I actually do enjoy working with smokers, and it's not something that I really like put on blast or advertise. But I do work with a lot of smokers, and I do like. I don't know. Somehow I found one, I kind of like that it's a binary outcome. Like they either do or they don't with smoking, right? And so that's like kind of a nice feather in my hat when I can. But then the other thing is I've kind of worked around to a place where I really do see every time somebody does that, it's like a part of a larger organic process, right? Like my friend or my cousin who's a counselor said that when she sees a client quit smoking, she knows that that's like a big, sign that they're taking on things in their life, right? Taking responsibility for stuff, taking control of their agency.
Nice.
Right.
Hey, we got Scott King made a comment. Yes, Scott, I will never forget seeing you at a conference, of course. He also made a funny, Scott should go do stand-up. That's what I'm talking about. He says, you use too many of the wrong words on Tinder. Never answer, how much do you charge?
Oh, right. Love that. Well, I mean, fair. There's that too.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. All right. So that would make sense. I wouldn't whatever. But suffice it to say, I wasn't really doing anything wrong on Tinder, but I got banned.
You were.
But it was probably for the best. You know what? Okay, so there's this saying like rejection is protection. So it may be that Tinder doesn't want me and I don't want Tinder either.
Well, it depends on what you want. And I'm going to just leave it there.
Great. So,
Marian, I did finally get your bio up here. And of course, no,
you did a really good job. I feel like you want to do it again.
I just want to mention a couple other things.
Okay.
You're a descendant of Salem witches, so you didn't necessarily say you're a witch. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, no, I found that out only recently. I was doing my genealogy and I found that I have witches that both died for witchcraft and also survived the witch trials.
Wow. That's
it was a very small thing. I mean, like for the amount of publicity that it got, there were not that many people that died, I don't think. It was kind of a blip in the radar of history, but the witch trials went on like much longer if you count like Europe and all the other places where it went on. In the United States, it was just I don't know. It was a small thing. Not to say that it wasn't bad, but it was small.
Gotcha. It seemed like a big deal because it stands out, but it also says you're also a instructor, hypnotist, facilitator of sacred medicine ceremonies, and
yes,
as you said, a friend of Jesus and iconoclast and a wise person. Yeah.
I kind of I mixed a lot of stuff in there. So most of my clients that I work with are Christian, so I kind of lead with that usually. But most of my clients also are open-minded or have some kind of openness to spirituality. And I'm not really here to impose my beliefs on anyone. I don't really care what people think. But I do find that for hypnotic change work, it's really great if you can access resources, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So, if you can, I've had people, this is another good smoking cessation story, if you want.
Good.
I had this person describe his addiction to nicotine. I was like, what's that like? What does it feel like when you're addicted to nicotine? It's like, it feels like I'm chained by the devil. And I was just like, well, if you were chained by the devil, what would you do? And he was just like, I would ask Jesus for help. And so I was just like, why don't you do that? And so he did that. And I kid you not, guys, this man started trembling in his chair for like 2 or 3 minutes, sweating.
Whoa.
Just like shaking. And then he relaxed. And I asked him if he wanted to smoke anywhere, and he said no. And I asked him if he needed anything else from me, and he said no. He said that he did it. And like, I called him the next week because I almost couldn't believe it. He really was only in my office for like 30 minutes. Yeah. And he said that he was happily not smoking. That was it for him. So that's like, yeah. I like to use resources, and it's like, I wouldn't say, oh, you need to believe in Jesus. Like, I feel like a lot of people have religious trauma too. There's that. Like, I've helped people with religious trauma. If someone has internalized shame about what they were told in church, that can be hard. And I don't want to cause anyone discomfort with spiritual resources. But at the same time, there are studies that show that having faith is incredibly helpful for persistence. Like, there's that study where rats were drowning in a bucket of water, right? Yeah. They're drowning in the bucket of water. And then if they had the hope that they were going to be rescued, they swam for like 45 minutes versus 15 minutes or something like that. And so like, if they had been conditioned to believe that they would be saved, they would keep on keeping on longer, which is actually a survival thing, right? So my takeaway from that, and of course this is just my layperson interpretation, is that having faith is what do you call it? It's adaptive, right? Like, it helps you survive. It's like the opposite of a Darwin Award, right?
It does seem to help. It does seem to help people get through challenges in their life. Right. You know, things like, you know, someone passes away, and if you think that you're going to maybe see them someday, or they're in a better place, something like that. It does help a lot of people. Sure.
You can do it with anything. It doesn't have to be God too. It could be, you know, whatever, your personal mythos, your story, that time that you did the thing that you didn't think that you could do it anymore, or like somebody that you admire that did something that you really admire.
If you're driving Shawn's fleet vehicle, you have a Tim Hortons.
To have faith that you can make it to the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, studies show that prayers speed healing after surgery, but only if the person knows that people are praying for them.
That makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I like to send people prayers if they ask for them.
I've also heard that the studies have shown that it makes people feel better when they pray for other people. So
yeah.
Either way.
And we are a social species too. Like, I really do believe, I even believe in, well, like, you know, if, I believe that people can feel, I believe we can all feel how each other are thinking about each other to some extent, you know? I think that, like, so I keep that in mind in the way that I treat people. Like, I treat people in the way that I want them to feel that I'm treating them too. Right?
Cool.
So I've got some science that'll back that up. Every person is an energy field.
Mm-hmm.
And that energy, they've been starting to be able to measure it now, and it actually extends out and away from us. So when you encounter somebody and you get that ick feeling, or you encounter somebody and that, you know, person kind of immediately lights you up. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And then the other thing, I believe that, like, maybe even more important than the words that we say when we're helping somebody make a change is that attitude that we're holding. Like, I believe it's actually like that energy field that matters more. And I believe that it's like, when you have a really good, when you kind of like create that circle and you create the conditions for somebody to step into that circle, like that's kind of like a huge part of any change work that I do, getting somebody to opt into whatever result they're asking for. Like, you can ask for it, but are you willing to receive it? Right? If you don't agree to receive it, you can't receive anything that you're not willing to receive or not able to, right? It's like, so
that reminds me of a interview we did with Dan, where he would talk about, all right, we're ready to quit smoking. And they'd be like, oh yeah, we're ready to go. And then he'd be like, open up your purse, take out that extra pack of cigarettes, take the spare pack that you stashed out in your car that you're going to run back to.
Yeah, it's time. It's time. The train is leaving. And yeah, so all aboard. Yeah.
Now, granted, if I was in Vietnam and like the ground just exploded next to me and someone handed me a cigarette and that was the thing that calmed me down, God, I'd be clinging to life. Kung Fu grip trying to pry that out of my hands.
Yeah, coping mechanisms always have a purpose. I mean, I get that.
It very much explains veteran humor.
Yeah.
and my 30-day timeout.
Right.
To
be fair, it was a pretty damn funny joke. And the receiver never looked better. I'll just say that. So yeah, really, yeah, it was good stuff. Marian, how did you get started in this weird and wacky profession known as the hypnosis?
I have a funny story about this. So when I was in my 20s,
we hate funny stories. Oh,
yeah. I was seeing someone who was also a hypnotist, although she didn't call herself that. I think she called herself a counselor. But that was basically what she was doing. She was doing hypnotherapy, and
so you were treating.
No, I was in the chair. I was in the chair.
Right. She was the provider. You were the patient.
Yeah. Okay. And so she said something like, Marian, I think you'd be really good at this. And I remember, this is the funny part of the story, that like my knee-jerk response to that was like rage, anger, despair. I was just like so offended that she said this to me. Like, I felt like she was trying to fix me, which is what a therapist is not supposed to do. And I was just like, no. So I didn't immediately do it because I just dismissed it out of pocket. But then, like, later on, years later, I came across someone teaching a class, and it was kind of like coinciding with one of my friends going through oral cancer from smoking, and it kind of felt like a prompt to do it. It was like within my reach to do it, and so I just did it. It wasn't. I think it was like a 6-month certification or something like that through the NGH. But that was my journey. But I think it's funny because like she was right. She was right, and I just wasn't ready to hear it at the time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great. Scott says, I have to agree with Facebook on your ban since you caught me up on what they banned you for. I'm right there with you, Scott.
I just missed it. I don't know. I'm out of the loop. What did you get banned for?
So I'm not gonna. This is a family show.
Yeah.
So there was there was a meme that was highly photoshopped, satirical, like grossly over exaggerated, and Facebook didn't like it.
Yeah. And you know what? To be honest, Brian, I would think a reasonable person would have known that.
And in my defense, I was like, okay, too soon. I will click delete, and then it went. here is a list of all of your sins and you're in timeout for 30 days. And I went, I didn't even agree to post it. And my computer, like, I'm probably on a no-fly list somewhere now. And
as well you should be. As well you should be, Brian.
It's funny. I've never gotten chastised by Facebook before, but
me neither.
So Bill Burr did a little monologue on Saturday Night Live, and while I differ with him, I appreciate that he doesn't really hit below the belt. He throws an emphasis of humor and everything, and he goes back and forth on both sides, and just kind of general making fun of the government and stuff, much like George Carlin used to do, one of the greats. And I think that comedy is kind of a dying thing, and people take themselves too seriously. But when all you have to do is laugh at one another, and humor is all that you have, it explains a lot why veterans use that as a mechanism to cope.
Oh, no, definitely. I think I have a hypnotist friend, Larry Voles, who leads laughter yoga. He just like does these sessions where you just like sit down and laugh.
Oh, those are fun.
The therapeutic thing.
In like, does somebody tell jokes?
My friend Gwendolyn.
No, it's just we laugh. We just like sit down and laugh.
Really,
okay.
No, but like, yeah, more meandering thoughts on that, but I won't go into that.
What's interesting, because really what you do is like there's a facilitator, and they just sort of like, there's all these different little exercises, and once you start laughing, like they'll just start laughing, just and then everybody else starts laughing, and pretty soon everyone's laughing. It's really interesting stuff that they do with the laughter yoga.
It takes one person to snort, and then just everything falls off the rails.
I want to say, like, one time, like, I tried to like intentionally be tickled. Like, have you ever tried that before? When I was like a kid, like if I would get tickled, that would be like all over. I would be giggling. But like now, like if I know it's coming, like I just can't. I can't. Like, have you? I don't know. Have you guys had any similar experiences of trying to be tickled, trying to laugh and be tickled?
I've done the polar opposite, like kind of when you're roughhousing with younger kids, and you're just because you get around like nieces and nephews and the kids of a lot of your friends, you become a human jungle gym. And so it's like you pin them down, and they're like this, and you sit there and you're like, okay, air tickling, and you get this close to like right just below their neck. You're not touching them, but they are just howling, screaming. Yeah,
it's like anticipatory giggling.
Exactly. And
that's probably laughter yoga. That's right. Is that laughter yoga? Yeah,
it kind of is. Yeah, right. Yeah. Marian, so you like working with smokers. Is there? Do you have a niche, or do you just out there like helping everybody?
No, I'm transitioning more into doing like spiritual stuff. So, I am kind of like putting out a new series of classes, which is just like kind of foundations, which I think is like stuff that everyone should know. So like one of my complaints about spirituality as it exists in its current form, and of course you can't paint it all with one brush, but like I think it's really important to just kind of like root everything in lived experience and what you can see and feel and know, and just be grounded in it, right, rather than so like I can argue both sides of any point, but magical thinking, for example, is criticized because it's like a way of kind of believing something that could be without necessarily having any basis for that. And I think that there is a value in that too. But I want to kind of like start people out where you can just like feel your body, feel the ground, understand how your emotions work in your body, and differentiate your emotions from whatever it is that you're picking up outside of that, right? I think that's like a really great place to start. And a lot of the stuff that I work with, the nuts and bolts stuff that I do for people that are asking for hypnosis, it can boil down to that. Like a lot of times if somebody is like really anxious or something like that, it, depending on the person and depending on the specific situation, could boil down to them being just like really extremely sensitive. Like I remember I worked with a kid around the onset of the pandemic that was just freaking out about going to school. And when we kind of got into it and I asked him if the fear was his, he said, no, actually it wasn't. And when he realized that, and I asked him to describe it, he said it was just like a little shadow that was like running around the classroom. And I was just like, okay, well, if you know that that's not yours, you can choose to not accept it into you, right? And he was just like, yep. And that was like a one session thing for him. He was good after that. So, yeah, I think, I've kind of gone back and forth about like how woo to present stuff, but it's such a continuum, and sometimes it's like 6 of one, half dozen of the other. But yeah, that's kind of where my interest is. And I've also noticed that when I'm excited about what I'm doing, people like it. So I'm going to do that.
I think that's the whole thing, is that kind of draws them to you. And plus, the woo people, they're cleaning up, man. I tell you what, people will be like, I don't believe in hypnosis, but oh yeah, give me some of that. Do a psychic reading or do a.
Oh, I experienced that when I went, so my first, when I was trying to promote my practice to begin with, I went to the psychic fair, and like, I got so much stink eye. Like people were really, really like suspicious of hypnosis, but they were into the psychic reading. And I'm like the complete opposite. I'm just like, what? Right. Not so much anymore now. Like, I'm not squeamish about any of that stuff, but I just thought it was funny because like I was coming from the opposite direction. They were just like, I bet we could find more people to come to your booth if you would call it something else. It's like, so then I switched it to like chakra cleansing, because like you could do that. You could just like do like a little meditation where you focus on each chakra, right? And then like, but that's like basically hypnosis, and it could be a hypnotic induction. It could be like a way, you could do it for like IBS, or you could do it for many things.
It's like the all these apps out there with their guided meditation, they're really just hypnosis. It's so funny. Becca, good to see you finally showing up. Nice to see you. Hey, before we go any further, let's get a head start on this, because in just about probably 5-10 minutes we're gonna play friend or frenemy. So that's the right schedule, right, Shawn?
Can you explain to me the game, because I don't quite understand?
Yes. So we're going to ask you a singular question, and you're going to say yes or no. We can also say true or false.
Yes. And so, but you don't need to know what the question is right now, but our loyal watchers, they know. So go ahead and start betting right now, voting right now. Is she a friend or a frenemy? And then Becca wants to know, what made you get into being a psychic? I'm not sure.
Well, I'm not really a psychic. I'm a hypnotist, and I did. If you scroll back, I did tell how I got into being a hypnotist earlier in the video.
You joined us late tonight, Becca. What were you out doing? You out doing the raving thing? Is that what you're out doing? You crazy kids doing the TikTok dances? I know what you're up to.
Something must have gotten lost in the English to metric transition or translation. I'm sorry.
Well, it's about what
I think that change happens when it leaves your borders there, Brian.
Yeah.
The rest of us know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. Marian, before we wrap up the interview part, what else do these folks need to know about you? Because I mean, you've got it all. You've got it all. You do the online programs, you do the groups, you do mentorship, you teach, you do the hypnosis.
I haven't done teaching for a while, but I am proud. Recently, just this year, one of the people that I certified opened like a little brick and mortar place in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. So I want to give a shout out to David and Gina Ruby.
Nice.
Yeah, that was exciting. Yeah, just I don't know. I would say just message me on my website. That's the best way to get in touch and kind of see what you want to plug into.
MarianSpurgeon.com, everybody. Marian Spurgeon.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Marian, I asked you this earlier and you kind of touched on it briefly.
Yeah.
And I know Scott is at home giggling just with single thing that I say. But
oh God, I'm so afraid.
No,
get the dump button ready. Get the dump button ready, Shawn.
I was sharing with you some of the common questions that we get from our viewers. That what are some either humorous or memorable experiences in your hypnosis career? You started to tell a story that I was like, stop, put a pin in that, save that for later.
Like, I think I told you like two of like the worst things I could think about.
The one, bigger fish to fry.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
And why you should be selective with.
Well, yeah.
clients.
So this woman walked into my office, and I invited her to sit down. She was just like, no. And also, just like for any hypnotists out there that want to understand rapport, and we don't have rapport at this point. Like,
right.
So I was like, I don't know how to help you if you're not going to sit down. Well, it turns out that she was actually like strung out on heroin, and I mean no disrespect to anyone who's struggling with addiction, but that was like probably like the quitting smoking was like secondary to like whatever else she had going on at the time. So we ended up not running that session, but I don't know. I don't really see myself putting that on a screening form. Like I don't. I think I did put something in my intake where it was like I understand that I need to show up to my appointment free of the influence of anything. You know what I mean? Like, or if somebody's like taking medications, that's one thing, but
the lady on heroin it's almost like I want to quit heroin, or I want to quit smoking, but I'm on heroin. It's like that's like your house is actively on fire,
and you're
also,
worried about additionally, I think she was also pregnant. It was a lot.
Whoa. That's like your house is actively burning in a flame, and you're like,
no,
griping. The dog
like,
crapped on the carpet.
I have like my hypnosis, but like I don't like I've got like how much I can do here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
but then you touched on kind of what some people might actually call like not necessarily an abreaction, but it's sort of like the an adverse reaction, kind of the precursor where there's
I had somebody like show up to my office and just like she was so afraid of quitting smoking and so keyed up and so anxious that she just like ended up yakking into my trash can.
Scott says you don't ask how long has your food been talking to you on your intake.
You're missing questions, people. You're missing questions.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, who said something about pineapple and pizza? Is that something? So Becca Rose must understand.
Becca thinks you reckon.
The red coats are coming.
Yes, Becca. Yes. I think.
Don't answer the question. Don't answer the question. Keep it. Keep it.
Wait. Is that a question for me? Is that something?
You have to be
I'm offended, and you guys are worried about the dump button for me.
Okay. All right, we'll give you.
Is that how little you think of me, guys? Don't answer that.
We just know you, Brian.
Knowing what you were trying to post on Facebook, Brian. Come on. Marian, okay, in a little bit, we'll give you a little bit of time to think about it so you're not confused. We're going to ask you if you like pineapple on pizza, but we would like you to hold your answer to build up the suspense. And we will tell you more about that. So we've got some. So Becca claims that she was sleeping. I think she was sleeping at the rave. That's what she was doing.
Jim, if you're sleeping at a rave, that's called an overdose.
Carol Burgett, great to see her the other day out here in Arizona. Yeah, and of course, if you're a hypnotist, please do drop your links down there. Let people find you as well. Guys, it's time for one of the most important parts of this show. It is time for Product Spotlight. We're hoping someday to make $1. You guys got to go buy something from the links that I put here. You're not helping out, as you can see. I'm not in my Oceanside Villa yet. So until I get to the Oceanside Villa, we're doing Product Spotlight. All right, Shawn, send everyone away, please. Beautiful people. There's the book that you need to get. It is a funny take on personal development, but it will actually help you. So if your life does suck, the book will help you. If it doesn't suck, it still might help you. I've had a lot of good reviews from other hypnotists who said that it was very helpful. And then, of course, let's go over here. Oh, wait, that's already done. Hold on. Where am I at? What am I doing? Oh, yeah. Hold on. Okay. Super important. Now, I'm on the road this week, so I do not have my normal microphone with me. So I'm actually using my earbuds, my AirPods. What the heck? What is a Disney show? AirPods. And so the second generation, that's just what I have. I haven't lost them yet, so I don't need the next generation. They work super well. You can hear the sound is pretty good. The best thing about these things is I've had a lot of different Bluetooth devices, and they just work. I buy these cheap Bluetooth ones, and then I'm trying to, every single time I have to try to pair them and everything, and it's such a huge hassle. Now that I have these, they just work fantastic. Of course, I'm using them with my iPhone. I mean, come on, I wouldn't be caught dead with an Android device. Not since I got married and my wife told me I had to get an iPhone. That's the truth, everyone. That's the truth. But I'm glad she did, because it turned out to be a great decision. And then, ta-da, Premier Protein. Premier Protein. I drink a lot of different protein drinks. I swear, Premier Protein is the very best. The very best I've ever had, and the best flavor I've had, cafe latte. Cafe latte. It is so delicious. It's like a fancy coffee drink at a fraction of the price. It's 30 grams of protein. Now you may be aware of this. I keep watching all these videos now, and they're saying that we need way more protein than most of us are getting, especially as you start to get older. You got to get the protein. So Shawn and Brian, as they're getting older, the co-hosts here of the Hypnosis Hero, as they're getting older, they need to keep those muscles. Otherwise, they're going to be all creaky and rickety and everything. So guys, drink up the Premier Protein. 1 gram of sugar, lots of vitamins and minerals, and maybe even some energy and immune support. But hey, I'm a healthcare professional, but I'm not a doctor, so I can't say that for sure. Get the Premier Protein. It's absolutely delicious. I also like vanilla. Vanilla is really good too. I like it. It's good. All right, let's bring everybody else back on. Thank you, everybody, for that promotional moment there. What do we got here? Cindy says, "Stop bad-mouthing androids."
Cindy.
Let's see. What other? Brian, you want to catch us up on the comments before we get to friend or frenemy?
Let's see. Have we already been demonetized, or
Probably.
Let's see. We had how long has food been talking to you? So Scott says, unless you were sleeping with someone at the rave, to which I responded with, that is hardly the slumber that I believe we are describing. Becca says she wishes that she was at a rave, but no, not this time. It's a school night. And then Cindy Berg bringing it home. Team Android. That's
Marian, are you a iPhone user, or are you
yeah,
one of
iPhone.
those? Say again.
iPhone.
Oh, well,
yes, iPhone.
Of course. I shouldn't even have asked. I'm sorry to
Now,
have insulted
I
you.
will say, when I was one thing that I can say about myself is that when I was in college, I had Linux on my laptop. Like, I installed it myself. So,
oh my God.
I have
somebody's open source.
I have the capacity to be like really nerdy about stuff. It's just not how I choose to spend my time right now.
Yeah.
The last one I had before the iPhone was the Google Pixel, and I tell you, it was fantastic. It was really just about choices that seemed to be out of my control. That's why I had to get an iPhone. But I'm very happy about it now. It's great. I mean, honestly, they're probably all the same. Brian, don't feel bad. Here, hug it out. It's okay. Yeah, you'll get a job someday.
Do you know what Cindy and I were able to do that all of you were not able to do?
Uh-oh.
We were able to download the Hypnosis Hero app on our phone. Not trying to power flex or anything.
Brian, that is damn right. That is an excellent reason, people. An excellent reason. Throw your iPhones in the garbage and go get the Android phone. You know,
hold on a second. Hold my Android. I need to jump into the archives here.
Uh-oh. Of course, iTunes makes everything more difficult, and so getting the app in there is way more challenging than into the Android store. Damn them. All right, last chance, everybody. Get your friend or frenemy votes in there. Let's find out what you think. Looks like it's what'd you think, Shawn? Did you see it was pretty even?
It looks pretty even to me.
Pretty even. Okay. I'm going to say, I'm a toss up on this one. I really don't know. Also,
wait. So the question is
not yet. Hold on. Yeah, but Brian, at least our camera is better than your rubbish Android. I love the word rubbish. Did you find the archive you're looking for, Brian?
I was going to see. I was going to look through the apps on my phone and be like, oh, it looks like this, but I guess somebody deleted it for me.
Oh,
and I get it's not in the Google Play Store, so it may have just deleted from my phone automatically.
Yeah, I'm still working on getting it back in there. You know, you have to update these things all the time, and then if you don't update it, they really kick you in the jimmy. And
I just want to ask a quick, from your standpoint, Jim, strict observation. How difficult was it to put a app on Google Play?
It was incredibly difficult, really. It really was.
It's not fair to lie to all these wonderful people, Jim.
It's you know what? Here's the thing.
Easier on Android?
Well, okay.
Or Apple.
Okay. Well, it was easier on Android, yes. Easier.
Remember, Jim, you're under oath.
Because I looked at the iTunes, and it was just like, oh Lord!
Mark's got you both beat.
What's he say? I still have a flip phone.
Wait, no.
Texting.
Mark, I want you to put the model phone that you have, because the new, like, I got the flexible screen. Technically, it's a flip phone, and
ooh, look at Cindy. Ooh, she's fired up. Brian, what'd she say?
Google Pixel Pro.
It says, I have Google Pixel 9 XL Pro, and you can do way more than on an iPhone. It says, can you erase people and duplicate yourself? That sounds like it. That sounds like, hey, I need a tarp, a rope, and an alibi.
But to be fair, Cindy's a magician too, so maybe that's.
Oh, looks like we're getting some support from Scott. He says Google Play is super easy and fast.
It depends. I keep running into problems. I've tried to put it back in there a few times, and I keep running into issues where I've missed something. But, these good, fine people, they're ready for some hypnosis soon. We need to find out if we have a friend or frenemy with us. And, we probably should move friend or frenemy to the end of the show so we're not disgusted by those people that are frenemies for the rest of the show. But we try to keep that all in. Don't worry. There are no wrong answers, Marian.
Is there the option that people, like, we can have a poll where people can like click a link or something and vote, and then we have the outcome?
That would be sweet.
I will check into it.
I don't think
okay.
There might be. Could we? Maybe we could adapt the raffle thing to make it a poll. I don't know. I don't know how that would work. But anyway,
or you could go into the group and ask Dimitri, the programmer, to do it. I mean, I don't know. Like, that's for the future, not today. But you could.
Oh, you're on Wave too. You know Dimitri.
Yeah.
He's supposed to have Amazon carousels in there. I talked to him like a year ago, and he said he was going to, and we still don't have them. Very frustrating. But that's beside the point. You know what, Cindy? I was very happy with my Google Pixel Pro. And then I got an iPhone. No. So
based on your comments before, you were under the influence of marriage,
exactly.
or under the influence of matrimony.
Yes, early marriage, where like I had no say in anything. Now I'm the boss, so whatever. Just don't tell my wife I said that. Okay. So
Jim's the boss in his marriage when he's not home.
You're damn right I am.
No.
Damn right. Exactly. I think it's Shawn's turn to do the honors. Shawn, did you want to do the honors for us?
I can do that. All right. The question that everybody wants to know the answer to. Friend or frenemy? Yes or no? Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Is this like for me
That's
to
for
answer?
you.
That's for you. Marian.
Okay, well, I feel like, Jim, you already know what I'm going to say to this because I have teased you about this a lot. But yes, absolutely, it does.
Oh, God.
Like,
I'd hope she'd come to her senses.
No.
But no.
Okay, this is good. Thank you. You actually helped me release some trauma here because, like, when I heard like friend or frenemy, like I was just like, oh my God, I have social trauma. Like I have like so much confusion about who's my friend and who's not. But like when you brought it down to like this simple question about whether we like pineapple on pizza, it made me feel safe again.
What's the most important question really in all the universe, I think.
So she was like, oh, I'm here releasing trauma and this and that. And I was all about to be like, this is a safe place. You've got friends here. Admitting it is the first step. And then she doubled down and was like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, you're on your own.
Hey, Shawn, could you run over to my YouTube channel and grab the link for the pineapple pizza session that I did recently?
Did you do a pineapple pizza session?
Oh, I think I can.
I did a session to help people get over their addiction to pineapple pizza. That's right. I certainly did.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the episode that we did where Bob almost got you.
You can grab that one too. I have that one saved somewhere. I don't have that one. Oh, he almost got. So I was almost married. I had this guy, Bob Martin, on, and he was doing some conversational hypnosis. And I came this close to going, that doesn't sound so bad. Stopped myself, thank God.
Oh, wait, so are you open to that? Is that something that I could do with you?
No, absolutely not. From after that, I said I don't do the sessions anymore. No, I'm not. I won't be the volunteer.
You don't want to be different.
Bob started doing his thing just on the fly. Like, silver tongue devil, better than Bill Clinton.
You have to
it in there. So you're saying
Bob.
you're just gonna put it in there,
and all of a sudden Jim like blinks and goes, "No."
Okay. But like, so for real though, like it's kind of funny in the context of what we're talking about. But like, this is like my problem with like hypnosis community in general is that stuff like that can happen and it is a little bit problematic.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I was, I mean, heck, he could have made me,
Bob straight Ricky ninja'd him is what he did.
Bob, we have a group. Scott runs it every Sunday night, and Bob is usually in there. He hasn't actually been there for a while, but he's earned the nickname Bob the Rebuilder because he can, when he gets going, he can not only hold the session that he's doing with the person. He can also explain it on the side with the person still doesn't know what's going on.
Well, dude, I did that was like one of my favorite things. That it's like the my friend John thing. I've done the my friend John thing with my brother John, where like my little brother. I had another brother. I have several brothers. I have 3 brothers, and one of them was being difficult, and so I worked with him by talking to my other brother while he was listening.
Oh, and so you were kind of indirectly.
Yeah, talking to somebody else while somebody else is listening is a great way to talk to them.
Like my friend John.
That's what I said. My friend John, my brother John. Yes.
Gotcha.
My friend John, my brother John.
I was a little bit behind. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Marian, and did it work?
It did work. And I actually, you know what? I was going to kind of actually now quickly tie this into tarot. I don't really read tarot a lot, a little bit on my YouTube, but I do think that there is something hypnotic about looking at something outside yourself and telling a story about that, and then the person listening to that story is getting suggestions in the way that somebody that's listening to a story is getting suggestions. I think it's actually really great and potentially more accessible for some people that may not quite be ready or feel like they want to dive into their mind directly. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100% agree. Bob did have consent. Yes. So let's.
Good.
Thanks for finding those, Shawn. So, if you want to be cured of your disgusting habit, so that people will like you again, and you'll be a friend to them and not a frenemy, go try out Jim Kellner's. You can quit pineapple pizza, but also I've left it open. So, if you don't want to give that up, if you want to give up Twinkies or Cheetos or something like that, you can plug that in as well, and then you can watch how Bob Martin almost convinced me to eat pineapple pizza. Wow, Marian.
Mm-hmm.
You'll not be convincing me to eat pineapple pizza tonight. But did you have something? Now we're at the hypnosis part, right, Shawn?
100%.
Excellent.
Yeah. I had, well, first of all, I would like to ask the people in the chat if they have any specific requests, because I'm very flexible, but I do have something that I could do if we don't have any other requests, but I wanted to see what people say first.
Yeah.
Or if you guys have anything that you're curious about.
Becca oftentimes has requests. Scott, Cindy, anybody else out there? Mark?
Does anyone have any requests for what we do for the hypnosis?
We could help Brian get over the trauma of his Facebook, ban.
It's not trauma. It's just kind of frustration of like, really? Okay. We're just going to laugh at this now.
All right. So this hypnosis comes with a story too. Okay. So this is like a little witchy woo around Halloween, right? We're over Halloween, but we want to keep it going on forever. So I was walking home one day. I was at the crossroads, and I found a literal fork in the road, like a utensil fork in the road. And like, where did Jim go, by the way? Can you guys hear me?
I like to go off screen for the hypnosis part.
Huh?
I'll stick around if it makes for more comfortable.
Shawn and I kind of do the managing stuff, and then Jim actually wants to partake.
Okay.
But when we see his eyes roll back in his head,
okay,
I'll be off screen.
Am I taking too long by telling his story first?
Not at all. No, we got plenty of time.
Okay. So anyway, I was like walking home and I found a fork in the road, like a utensil. And so I was like, oh, it's a fork in the road. Like it seemed like a sign to me. And then a couple of days later, so I had like this urge to go outside and get some ice cream. And so I, put on my shoes and I went out. And as I was walking down the sidewalk, there was a man that was limping down the center of the street. I couldn't quite tell whether he was coming or going. And he had, good. He had a bottle of whiskey in his hand. And he had a cigar in his mouth. And his clothes were tattered and worn. And we had like this kind of, as I was walking down the street, he kind of seemed like he was a little bit freaked out by my being behind him. So I was keeping my distance. And then at the crossroads, he disappeared. But the thing was, so after that experience, it kind of stuck in my mind. And then it occurred to me that he was like the spitting image of this voodoo character, which is like Papa Legba, who's like the keeper of the crossroads, the guardian of the gates. And he like is like the guardian of the cemetery, the guardian of the underworld, the guardian. He's like the person that everyone calls in order to call other spirits. And And so I went to the Wikipedia to like read about him and kind of see what was going on with that. And then I saw that like his sacred day was Monday, it was like Monday at dusk in the center of the road. And then he disappeared at the crossroads, and he had the bottle and he had the limp and he had the cigar. It was crazy. So, and all this after I got that fork in the road. Like I found the fork in the road, the utensil that said like fork in the road. So I have been kind of like working with that idea of the guardian of the crossroads, because I think it's a very powerful symbol for anyone who's on the threshold of change, right? Sometimes we can get to a point where we want to make a change and hover there. Like, do I want to like proceed or not? And it can be scary if what you're looking at is calling for kind of what is essentially like a little bit of a transformation, or like death, the feeling of death can accompany transformation, right? And so kind of working with this symbol or archetype or spirit that guards the gates of the crossroads and the cemetery, like I just feel it's like really powerful. So that's the direction that I'm going with this little hypnosis thing. If you guys hope that's like not too freaky. What do you think, Jim?
It's good.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. So I don't even know what kind of threshold that you're on, or what kind of change that you're contemplating, but I know that there's a part of your mind that probably knows. And yeah, and I'm just going to allow you to make yourself comfortable in whatever way it feels good to you. Just feeling your feet on the ground, feeling so calm and relaxed. Taking a nice deep breath and exhaling any tension. Taking another nice deep breath and allowing your eyes to fall shut if it feels good to you. And as you take one more nice deep breath, I want you to bring yourself to a place. This place where you feel so completely safe, calm, and relaxed. In this place, you are in touch with all parts of yourself. You're in touch with where you are and where you're going, where you've been and what you want. You're in touch with all the questions that you have and all the things that you've been learning. And I don't know what kind of crossroads you're at or what kind of doors you want to open, but I do know that there is this figure, Papa Legba, who has the keys to the gates. And off in the distance, you might be able to see this figure coming towards you. He's approaching with a limp. This man coming towards you. He's coming closer and closer, and as he comes closer, you can see that he's holding that ring of skeleton keys. You can see that he's holding that cigar. You can smell it. And as he comes close, as you can feel that presence, which is actually a very warm, nurturing, paternal presence, just take a moment and you can just ask him about whatever edge you're on, whatever threshold you're on, or whatever gates you want to open or close. You can also ask him to close the gate too. If you need to set a boundary with someone, you can also ask him to close the gate. So just take a moment and put in your request. Just noticing whatever came up for you, whatever request came to your mind, and whatever interaction you had with him. and just knowing that you are divinely supported, witnessed, and heard. And taking away any insights that you saw in that interaction, taking away any feelings that came up around that, any insights, any wisdom that occurred. Not yet, but in a moment, I'm going to count from 5 to 1. And when I get to 1, you can emerge feeling relaxed and refreshed and a whole lot better. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Opening your eyes whenever you're ready, feeling relaxed and refreshed and a whole lot better. Hey.
Thank you. What was that like, guys? Those of you that participated, what was that like for you?
Pardon?
Yeah. Oh, we were telling people, telling our listeners to post in the comments how that experience was for them.
Yeah, I'm so curious.
We have a couple second delay from what we say, then they have to respond, and then it'll.
I've noticed. I noticed even when I was like posting to it, it wasn't going directly to the chat. It was like kind of a little bit laggy.
I can watch the camera and then look up at one of my screens, and then it's like 1, 2, 3, and then I see myself look up on the screen.
Yeah, awesome. I hope I didn't go through that too fast. Like I'm a fast thinker and a fast talker, but yay! Thank you, Mark. Thank you for playing along.
You've got a fan.
Yay.
Mark, thanks for watching, man. You're such a great supporter, such a great guy. Now, I got to ask you too, Mark, is this like a newer Nokia or is this the actual old one from the 90s? Because you're such a tech guy. I mean, he helps businesses with their social media.
He's probably got one of those phones that does things.
Things, yes. Nice and relaxing, Becca says. Brian, do you want to give Becca an extra little treat?
Yeah, we can give her a couple of snaps that she likes. That's what you get for we take requests when you're a longtime follower and loyal fan. So
nice.
I'm like the dude, I abide, except on Facebook.
Not for 30 days.
For the listeners for our viewers that are curious about what got me in trouble, you're free to send me a message on Facebook, and yeah, we'll all share a laugh. So Mark Burris says a 1990s phone.
Wow.
God,
I gotta tell you,
those phones from way back.
Like, big Motorola things.
Like, no, it's the one that's about.
Thank you, Mark.
About 2.5 inches wide, and
she does.
If there's ever like a nuclear holocaust, it's going to be Keith Richards talking to a cockroach, eating a Twinkie on a Nokia phone. Like that's going to survive the end of times.
Yep.
And
Mark, I agree. You have just a wonderful voice, Marian. I've noticed that from the first time I met you. Really, it's wonderful.
Love it. Love using my voice. Thanks for listening to it.
Let's see. Anything else we need to cover? I was going to say, I'm those old flip phones. Man, that was the best sound quality ever. Really, I think I never got it. Nowadays they're better. I guess nowadays the phones are better, but for a while there, it was just sucked to talk on the phone. It really did when they transitioned out.
What was it? Sprint was the first one that was like, "Can you hear me now?"
I don't know the butterfly induction. What is the butterfly induction?
Brian, you know the butterfly? I'm gonna have to Google that. Here, let me
it's exactly jump on my like.
Android.
Get ready.
I know the butterfly hug. You mean like the butterfly hug?
Becca, go and just look at my hand. Go and just look at my hand.
Oh.
Becca, just look at my hand.
Is that,
just let it come up.
Is that the butterfly induction? Awesome.
Sleep all the way down, relaxing, even deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. That's a John Sorbonne. he created it, and he will be at the Performing Hypnosis Summit teaching that technique. Becca's a little bit behind. There we go. There, I like it. Way to go, Marian. Yes. Who needs Tinder?
Is Becca? Are you an ASMR fan? Is that what's going on here?
Yes. Okay.
Becca says,
yes, Cindy, he does. William uses it a lot. He likes that one.
Says, best part of flip phones for that they spent more time in your pocket.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
I remember before smartphones were a thing, I was able to access MapQuest by text message. Whoa. Like I would text and then get them to like send me how to navigate the streets.
Whoa. I didn't know that was a thing. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was like a brief period of time in the early aughts where you could do that.
Whoa. Huh. Interesting. Everybody go find Marian, marianspurgeon.com. Get a session with her so you can listen to that wonderful voice for, an hour, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever.
I have a YouTube channel too. I also have a quit vaping session, like a full session on my YouTube channel. So I should have given you the link through that. But yeah, I do have. You look at my YouTube channel, it's like Marian Spurgeon. Got stuff on there.
It's just Marian Spurgeon?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, thank you. Thank you for posting all my links. I need to check my link tree and make sure it's up to date. But yeah, that's cool. I'm sure if anyone just, Googles me, all my social media are like under Marian Spurgeon.
Scott says Becca's our resident hypno junkie.
She really is. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Marian, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, especially taking the time out of your evening, because I know it's getting late out there.
I don't care. It's great. I enjoyed this. It's not too late at all. Thanks for having me, guys. So fun.
Yes. I look forward to seeing you at the next conference.
Likewise.
Say something this time. Don't hide.
I will.
Rub his head for good luck. Yes.
All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. We really, really do. And I want to remind you, when if you post later, if you watch the show later, post your questions, your comments. If you have a question for Marian or something, let me know, and we will. I will hit up Marian and let her know. Yeah, we did, Mark. You can let me. I think she only shared 2 tonight. Marian.
We will be sure to get those out in the comments.
Thanks. Sorry, I was so slow to get everything out, but yeah, appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Jim's out on location and wearing many hats.
They'll all be out.
Canadian toque, not one of them.
Yeah, exactly. Not today. You got to do what Steve G. Jones does. He's got a document. He's got his bio. He's got all his hashtags, everything.
Yeah, like a press kit.
Boom.
Press kit.
Totally.
Yeah.
It took me years and having to just duplicate it every time. It's like, if you do something more than a couple of times,
No, you got to get organized and
but,
it's like the story of my life, man.
Same here. I'm going to do it. I need to do a hypnosis session for organization.
I have a theory that people with ADHD are attracted to hypnosis. Why? Why?
Wow. I don't know. But yeah, I finally did that a while back, and it's been so thankful that I finally did it, because now it's just like boom, boom, easy.
Yep.
So if you're out there, that's your pro tip for this week. Get your press kit together so you can just boom, send it out right away. Also, it comes in handy, like with the book now. I can just send out my press kit and say, hey, let me come on your show.
Nice.
That's great.
Thank
Guys,
you.
I will, if you comment later, I know some of you are, we get a lot more people later that will watch this, whether you're on Spotify, YouTube, whatever. Drop a comment. Let us know you watched. And if you have questions for Marian, I will forward them to her. I don't always see those messages that come in later, but I do my best to find them. Get over the hashtag Best Hypnotist. That gets my attention.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Take care. Be well. Be awesome.
And on this Veterans Day, most importantly, stay free.